Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to film a little summer TBR, kind of books that I'm excited to get to this summer. So if you like my content, I post almost daily on my Instagram and I'll have that linked below. I feel like it's kind of already starting to feel like summer. It's the last week of May as I'm filming this, and I don't know, I feel like once Memorial Day hits, it's summertime. So this is kind of what I'm looking forward to reading in mostly like June, July, kind of the start of August. And yeah, let's just jump right into my summer TBR. So I don't have a ton planned for this summer. I know we are going to go to the beach for like 4 days, so I'm going to bring a couple of books for that. Other than that, I feel like mostly we're just kind of hanging out at home. Luckily, I live in North Carolina, so it almost always feels like summertime, and we can do like sporadic trips to the beach for the day, and we do that quite a bit actually, so I can have some books that I'm excited to take if I do that. A couple that I'm excited to take for our planned beach trip, and then I don't think I have anything else going on. For Memorial Day, I'm going to be going up to kind of the DC area, so I'll bring a book along for that, but I'm not sure which one yet. And then classes for me, I have some summer classes that start up in June, but they're all online and usually don't take too much of my time, so I should still be able to do quite a bit of reading and just spending some time outside this summer. I have a bit of a variety here, so I'm not sure how I want to go about this. If I want to do, most of them are romance books, so I feel like maybe I'll save the romance ones and talk about those at the end, and I'll start with some of my other genres. So definitely summer to me is a very like romance forward type season. It's just something about like a nice rom-com that's just easy to fly through that I just really enjoy in the summertime. And I tend to stray a little bit away from fantasy books unless I'm like in the middle of a series. Like last summer, I think I read all of Throne of Glass. That was like the only thing I read over summer, but I'd started that series and I was just loving it, so I kept with it. But I'm gonna start with kind of like my mystery thriller, psychological thriller books. I don't have a ton of them on here, but they're kind of nice to pick up. I don't know, I feel like they're kind of nice on the beach too, to just like have a little bit of like something that like makes you want to keep turning the pages. So last summer when we went to the beach for, it was just like a weekend, it was just like a one night thing, I read The Naturals, and I have the rest of the series, so I think I want to pick up Killer Instinct. This is the second book in the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's kind of like a Criminal Minds type of book, but for like why it's based with teenagers are the main characters. And I really like the first one. I've heard people have like decent reviews about the series as a whole. Like it's not like, oh, 5-star series, but people do enjoy it. So I want to continue this. And I feel like I remember most of what happened. Like it wasn't anything super extraordinary that happened in the first book, but it's like I said, it's like a Criminal Minds but with teenagers. Each of them has like some kind of special skill that helps them to like catch criminals and just kind of like work with how people's minds work. So the main character is like a profiler, which is exactly what like Criminal Minds is, and some of them are like good at telling when people are lying, and some of them are super good with statistics, kind of like a Spencer Reid. So then the book that I am reading right now, it's in the other room and I really don't want to go and grab it, but it's The Housemaid's Secret. I'm almost done with it, so I think I'm not going to like include it on here, but I just want to mention that one because it is one that I'm actively reading. And if I don't finish it this week, I'm going to be taking it with me when we go up to DC this weekend. But my goal is to have it done before then. But since I really enjoyed that book, I also am putting The Inmate by Frida McFadden on my TBR. It's not necessarily giving summer vibes, but I just really enjoyed her writing, and if I want a break from a romance book or something, I think this would be a good psychological thriller to pick up. It's about a nurse practitioner at a high security prison, and it turns out she actually knows like one of the most dangerous inmates there, and she's the reason why he is in jail. So, but no one else knows that she knows him. Like, you're not supposed to get to know the prisoners, you're not supposed to let the prisoners get to know about you. And obviously they know a lot about each other. So other than that, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm sure there's gonna be lots of twists and turns, and I just really enjoy her writing, and I feel like she has enough stuff going on that like it keeps you flipping the pages without it being like so lost on like what is happening. I have a couple of fantasy books that I want to get to. First, I want to get to Powerless. I know the new book is coming out very soon, and I haven't read the first one yet, so I am excited to get to this one pretty quickly. I don't really know anything about it other than people say it's like ACOTAR, and so I want to read this as well as the novella pretty early on in summer. And yeah, I really liked ACOTAR. I liked Throne of Glass better, but I understand like the appeal of ACOTAR with like the more emphasis on the romance. I feel like it gets you a little bit more invested in the characters in a shorter amount of time. Throne of Glass, I feel like there was a lot of characters, and you kind of, as the books progressed, you like slowly got to care about them more and more. But when they have kind of a romance going on, I feel like you can have those feelings for a character a little bit earlier. And then the next series that I want to get to this summer is Caraval. I feel like this would be perfect for like the end of summer, kind of going into fall. I don't know a ton about this book either, but I really want to read, what is it called? The other series by Stephanie Garber. Once Upon a Broken Heart, is that what it is? I have the first book of that series, and then I found out that you're supposed to read this series first, and I already own the series because I got it on last year's Amazon book sale. And I've heard good things, but I've heard really good things about her writing. I haven't heard that this book is like a standout like 5-star series, but that people really enjoy her writing style. And so I am excited to get to this one. Unfortunately, it is mostly to get to another series. But if I don't get to this summer, I might try to get to it right at the start of fall. So then the last fantasy book that I want to read this summer is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This is another one that I feel like could be very summery, but could also go very well in the fall. But the pastel colors on the cover just make me think a little bit more summery. And I don't know a ton about this other than that it's very like low stakes, cozy fantasy. And I feel like it's the kind of like no thinking kind of book that I like in summer, where it's just you're here for the good times and whatever happens, happens. Like, it's not as, I don't know, I feel like fantasy books take a little bit of brain power, and I love that about them. But sometimes it can be a lot, especially when there's like a whole world building section, a whole new set of politics and magic and all the different things. I feel like can be a lot to kind of understand. And in summertime, I just like books that I can just fly through and just have a good time. So I'm going to jump into my romance books that I'm excited to read this summer. Starting with one that I feel like I've heard isn't necessarily a romance book. I've kind of heard that it's a little bit more of like a, what is it, a literary fiction. It doesn't emphasize as much of the romance, and that's Happy Place by Emily Henry. I've heard lots of good things about this, and I almost read it last year, but by the time I was like ready to pick it up, it was going into fall, and I just wasn't in the mood for it anymore. Between this, Powerless, and one other one, like they're kind of at the top of my list. And it's kind of nice because they're all a little bit different genres, so it's kind of whatever I'm in the mood for first. but I don't really know anything else about it other than I have read a lot of Emily Henry's books. Not all of them, but I've read People We Meet on Vacation, Beach Read, and Book Lovers. So I just haven't read Happy Place and then Funny Story that just came out. And then obviously some like her older books, but I have read a fair number of her books and I really liked them. So the next book that I know I'm for sure going to be reading this summer is The Rule Book, because I already know I'm taking this with me when I go to the beach. Something, I don't know, it screams summer. It's a pretty short book and I am very excited to get to it. And yeah, it's a sports romance about a football player and a sports agent that used to date and now they have to work together. And I guess they try to go for a little bit of revenge, but I think they obviously end up falling back in love. But it's short and it just seems like a really easy read for summer. Next book that I want to read is a series, but it's the first book, and that's Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I just love the cover. I love her writing. I've read the first 2 books in the Chestnut Spring series, so I might also try to get to those this summer. But since this is a new release, I really want to get to it pretty soon. And I don't think you need to know Chestnut Springs before getting into this series, so I think I can take a pause on that and get into this one. But this is a small town billionaire romance, and I think he's a father too, so there's like a lot of different tropes going on all kind of smushed into one. And I love small town romances in summer. If it's not taking place like at a beach on vacation during summer, it needs to be in a small town for me, and I feel like then it's like a perfect summer book. And it's another one that's towards the top of my priority list, but I feel like I'm going to say that about most of the books. That's why they're my summer TBR. The next 2, I feel like I'm going to read one or the other, and I need to prioritize one because it's been on my TBR forever and everyone loves it, but I've just held off for so long, and that's Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I've read The Holidays by Christina Lauren, and I've read their short story in the Improbable Meet Cute collection, and I really like their writing, and I need to get to this book. There's no excuse at this point. It's summertime. I need to just take this with me when I go to the beach and just read it. I liked The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I liked Every Summer After. And I feel like people say that if you like those, or like if you like this, then you'll like those books. So like I said, I need to get to this book this summer, and I need to read it and have my own opinions. And who knows, maybe I'm gonna be mad that I've waited this long to read this book, because like I said, so many people absolutely love it. And the other one that I've been kind of holding off on is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I read Every Summer After by her when it came out, and I liked it. I didn't love the ending of it, but I liked her writing, so I bought the second book that she came out with, and now she has a third one, and that's motivating me to try to get to this one so that I could potentially read the third one as well. But this one's not on the top of my priority list because I feel like there's other books that I want to read more. But I mean, just the cover of this is stunning, and it just screams summertime. And it's about a girl who is in a small town working for her mom's company, and it sounds like it's just not what she wants. And her and this guy met 10 years ago. They had a wonderful full day together, and we're supposed to meet back up at the same day the next year, and he never showed up and she did, and now nothing's kind of going the way that she wanted it to. But 10 years later he does show up, and it sounds like he's kind of the reason why things are maybe gonna work out. But I don't really know much else about that, but it sounds maybe not necessarily second chance, but and not necessarily friends to lovers or childhood friends. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's all kind of tropes, it sounds like, but it definitely screams summertime. And the last one is 2 books, but I know I'm not going to get to eat like both of them. I want to pick one or the other. And that's Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry and The Deal by Elle Kennedy. They're both series. The Deal is a college hockey romance, and Indigo Ridge sounds like it's kind of like a mystery small town romance. And like I said, I know I'm not going to get to both of them, so I kind of want to pick one or the other to kind of start the series. I feel like I'm leaning towards Indigo Ridge just because it kind of mixes that mystery in, and I feel like that's a little bit more summer, keep the pages turning kind of thing. And maybe I'll hold this one off for fall because I feel like sports and the fall just go together, but I'm excited for both of them. I've heard people absolutely love this series, and I know this one used to be really popular on Book Talk, so I'm just gonna kind of let my mood decide which of these I get to. Who knows, I might not read either, I might read them both. But I'm definitely a mood reader, so I like to keep my TBR pretty open. And I know I'm not going to get to all of these, and especially since some of them are like, I'm including like the full series. But I'd rather have a large TBR to kind of mood read from than be like, I have to read this, because I feel like that kind of ruins the fun of reading for me a little bit. So I'm definitely very excited for my TBR this summer. I am definitely in like a romance mood right now, and I don't know, the warm weather and just planning my beach trip and just everything altogether just makes me very excited for reading right now. And I can't wait to get to all these books. I definitely have a few front runners that I'm like most excited about, and it's probably these 4: Happy Place, Powerless, Love in Other Words, and The Rule Book. And yeah, those are definitely ones I'm going to prioritize. I think I'm going to take these 2 with me when I go to the beach, and I might try to get to Powerless pretty soon. I think I'm leaning towards picking up this one to read this weekend for Memorial Day, but not sure. I will definitely be filming some like monthly wrap-ups, because I feel like since I have so many high goals on here, I want to see definitely like at the end of summer how many of these I got to. But if you guys are interested in seeing that, subscribe to my channel, because I'm definitely going to update like how I'm doing on my summer TBR. I've decided I'm putting myself on a book buying ban for summer, because I have all these books that I'm so excited about reading, and I don't think I need to buy any more books unless like if I pick up one of the series or something and I want to get the second one, like for Powerless, or really that's like the only one. If I read Powerless, I want to buy the rest of the books. I think I'm going to try and do more of like a seasonal book haul, and I've got my summer books right now, and then in the fall I'll go and pick up some more books and go from there. But like I said, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to try and be more consistent with posting, but I don't want to make any promises just because sometimes work can get pretty busy. Like I said, I'm super excited for summer reading, and I hope that you guys are too. I'm excited to see like what everyone reads this summer and what kind of like the hit books of summer are. But I will see you guys next time. Bye!